Hey friends, this is Sav from Ocean Breeze Reader. It has been a while since I have filmed and put up a video for the channel, but I am going to be back. It has been a busy few years since my last video, but I'm excited and I'm going to be starting off with a reading vlog. And for this reading vlog, it'll be approximately about a week. And for this one, I am planning on doing the Dark Crystal series by J.M. Lee. This is a 4-book series that is also been turned into part of a Netflix series, and I have previously read the first book in this series and I'm looking forward to rereading it and then finishing it in the following week or two to come. I will update you once I have more to say on the book and have gotten into it. Hey lovely people, it is the next night and I have read only 46 pages since I first started this, and I've been really enjoying the reread. I should tell you a little bit more about the Shadow of the Dark Crystal. It is a prequel trilogy to Jim Henson's groundbreaking classic fantasy The Dark Crystal. It's a film and I grew up on it and I adored it. So when I found this series originally a few years back, I instantly had to buy it, and unfortunately when I first got them I got book 1 and then book 3 came in the mail next, and then book 2 and 4 came. So I'm now finally getting back into reading them and it has been a delight. So following the events of this book, it is about a character named Naya, and she finds herself summoned from her remote village to stand witness to the trial of her brother, who's been accused of treason by the Skeksis overlords. But Naya and her companion's arduous journey to the castle of the crystal reveals more than just clues, and the true events surrounding her brother's act of betrayal. Something dark is overtaking Thra, and Naya's journey is taking her straight to the heart of it. And at the minute, so Naya has just left her home village and is currently on her way to the castle, and big events have happened. She has found out that her brother has betrayed Thra, the crystal and the Skeksis supposedly, and she is trying to leave the village, and Naya, her father and their guide have been attacked, and her father and their guide are going to go back to the village so that they can get some proper healing before her guide then catches up to Naya as she then proceeds to continue the journey. I will let you guys know what I'm thinking and feeling once I get a little bit further in, but I plan to read this before I get some sleep. Hey lovely peoples, it has been quite a few days since I have last checked in about reading The Shadow of the Dark Crystal, and I have clearly had a bit of a haircut and I am muchly enjoying it. But on to the update of The Shadow of the Dark Crystal. I have finished it and I have absolutely adored reading about Naya's and Kaelin's story and their journey towards figuring out what is going on with the Dark Crystal, and the journey along the way. They have found a few suspicious things of a couple of the creatures in their world who have been affected by the crystal's veins, and they're now figuring out what's happening, what's going on, and on their way to the castle they have also met some other peoples who have also been like, hey, like something suspicious is going on, but like you must go back to your town now. Like, well, I could help her figure it out. Like, I figured out a couple of extra bits and pieces. So it's just been interesting to see Naya's and Kaelin's relationship flourish and grow, as Naya is very reserved and isn't much of a people person and struggles to build connections and is very mistrusting to begin with, which is completely understandable considering she is in a tribe from the furthest point from the crystal and the castle, and She is very passionate about finding her brother and making sure she is clearing his name, because she doesn't believe that what the Skeksis are saying about him and his friend are true. So she's very, very passionate about figuring it out and wanting to make sure that she wants to spread the truth and figure out what the hell is going on. So it's been interesting, and I have gotten a handful of chapters into Song of the Dark Crystal, and it has been interesting because I have now met up with her brother's friend and have made plans to continue on with their journey and figure out what is going on and what is happening. And we shall see if Naya can create a friendship with her brother's friend, as he can be quite prickly and wants to try do it on his own because he doesn't want anyone else to get hurt, because Secret is quite big and he's tried to then spread it through his town and some other people before now and has had people turn on him. So let's see where the story continues, and I shall check in as soon as I have something else to say. Thanks. Hey friends, so I am halfway through the third book in the series and I am adoring it so far. It is such a fun ride, and Naya and Kaylin have had such a rough journey to get where they are now. They have found more friends to join in their endeavours to share their story and tell the rest of their kind what is going on and what is happening, and they have created such an amazing found family that is so much fun to read about. And I love how caring Naya is with her new friends, and poor Amri, who they have found this story, he feels like he's not good enough. He keeps feeling like he's forgotten, and the rest of the party is so well known by the rest of the community and the rest of the Gelfling who have seen and heard the special story through the petals that they have found, like being able to share the story through. And the fact that Amri feels like no one remembers him and he's not worth it, and it really hurts my heart to see him feel so low about himself, because he's got so many good things going for him. He's sweet, he's kind, he's got so many tricks up his sleeves from being a part of the community of Gelfling who live in the caves, and he's just got to figure out a way that can support him and the rest of the party that's trying to convince the other Gelflings to take up arms and help support them in their endeavours to help the crystal be healed again. And I am very excited to see how this story ends and how the next book in the series finishes off and ties it all up. So I'll check in when I have more to say, and I am so excited to let you guys know. See you. Oh my gosh, so I am on the final book in the series at the minute, and I'm only a few chapters in, but I am absolutely adoring the deep dive and learning about the world before the events happened in the Dark Crystal, and it has been so much fun. So with the Gelflings, when they were more plentiful, there is 7 clans, and they are up and down the coast, and they are all run by clan leaders called Mordreurs, and each Mordreur talks to each other to sort of like help best support their clans. They talk together, and they sort of like, there's a couple of clans that do keep to themselves, and it's just so interesting to sort of see how each clan is different and how what they are more gifted in is so much more different as well, so that is definitely so interesting. And I am so in love with Naya and Amory. Like, I absolutely adore Amory. He is so much fun. He is from the Groton clan, and they have been at this point so small and forgotten about that a lot of the other clans think that they do not exist, that they're a bit of a myth because they are so rarely seen and deep in the underground caves. And Amri is just such an absolute sweetheart. I adore him, and it seems that Naya and Amri may end up possibly in a relationship, which I would absolutely adore. Like, it's exciting me so much. I can't wait to see if their relationship blossoms into more than just friends. Kalen is definitely so much fun as well. He is the singer of the group, he's a storyteller, he's on the journey to tell the story about what they're doing, and he is growing so much, and his skills as a storyteller, and he's sort of growing into a bit of a musician. He's learned how to use the special instrument and learnt his skills of dream stitching, which is very interesting to see. So that is when he stitches like soul, he can stitch a soul of, say, another gelfling into a little spider crystal, and he's been able to stitch his dream fasts into other objects like petals, so that way he was able to then spread the story of what's happening and that the Skeksis have betrayed the Gelfling, and so they're on their mission to then help make an uprising. So that's been really interesting, and it's just been so much fun to be on this journey and deep dive into the world of the Dark Crystal and Thra. I'll be back again to talk to you guys more once I get further in. Hi all, so I have finally finished the last book in the series, The Flames of the Dark Crystal, and I must say I absolutely adore this series and would definitely recommend people to read it. I absolutely adored the journey of Kaelin and Naya and Amri and Tavra. It was just absolutely awesome to just watch each character grow as they continued through. It was amazing to just watch them connect the Gelfling and to set the flames of resistance up and have the Gelfling become one clan instead of 7. So as the series goes on, you get to meet all the different 7 clans, and those clans are the Dretchen, which Naya is from. That is a clan that is mostly living in the swamps. They have gills so that way they can swim underwater and not worry about drowning. They are able to and swim for long periods of time, as well as they are quite strong warriors as well. You have the Vapra, which are the biggest clan of all, who has the High Mordra. The Mordras and the High Mordra are the leaders of the clans. The High Mordra is the leader of all of the clans as well as the Vapra, so she is the boss of all the Mordras, and then the other Mordras of the clans are just the leaders of their own individual clan, and they then talk to the All Mordra for any support or any other bits and pieces like that. You have the Spritan clan, which is the clan where Kylan is from. So they are in the plains. They mostly focus on hunting with spears and bowler, which is a weapon made of rope and stones, and you swing it around in the air and then release it. You have the Sifa, which their clans are seafaring. They live on boats that travel the oceans, and a lot of their clan isn't necessarily always together, but they have lots of time traveling around the oceans. You have Stonewood, which is the clan that lives closest to the castle and the Skeksis, so they tend to get the brunt of having their warriors sent to the castle as guards and helping out the Skeksis with travel and moving. You have the Dusan, and they live in, their clans are on the Crystal Sea, and they use ships very similar to the Seafa, though those are a little bit more sturdier and different, as theirs is more, the Crystal Sea is more of a desert than an actual ocean, so it's very sandy, it's dry, it's not very conducive to having, say, the Dretchen come and visit, because it's just not going to be able to help the Dretchen be feeling well. You have the Groton, which Amri's from. There's not many in their clan. They live under the mountains. They tend to live very far from a lot of the other Gelfling. They've become so entwined with secrecy that a lot of the other Gelfling clans just think they don't exist, or that they're just non-existent, that they're a tale. So yeah, those are the 7 clans that you learn about throughout this series, which I thought was really interesting, and the fact that over the time the Skeksis had caused the Gelfling to separate and become these clans and sort of like fight amongst each other, so that way they couldn't actually figure out what the Skeksis were doing, and the Skeksis became very angered and displeased with the fact that the Gelfling were starting to come together, and they did start trying to fight what they were doing. They didn't want them to create bonds and strengthen themselves against the Skeksis, as the Skeksis were taking the Gelfling and using their life force to make themselves stronger and be able to live longer. So this bit will be a little bit spoilery, as I am going to talk about the ending of the book compared to where the movie itself started. So if you hadn't watched the movie, I will do a recap of what the movie is. So the movie of the Dark Crystal it starts off with following Jen, who grew up with the Mystics, and he then has to go find the crystal shard and heal the crystal. And on his journey from the land of the Mystics, where after his master dies and gives him this mission, he then goes to Augra, the all-knowing, who is the all-mother of the Gelfling, who's helped to grow and nourish the Gelfling clans before the Skeksis came. She has the crystal shard, and she's given it to him, gets attacked by the monsters that the Skeksis have created, and then once he's left or managed to escape, he then meets Kira, a girl Gelfling that he didn't realise were any Gelfling left, as he grew up alone with the Mystics and no other Gelfling around, and they dream fast, they share each other's background, they share what happened when they grew up, and then they continue the journey to help heal the crystal. And along the way, eventually they do heal the crystal, and the Skeksis and the Mystics become one again. So the book ends in a somewhat satisfactory way, as I just wish there was more. I enjoyed the ending. It just didn't end where I thought it would to the movie. So the book ended, I would say, maybe either a few months or years before the start of the movie, as the ending of the series, although the Gelfling have successfully lit all the fires of resistance, they did fight with the Skeksis, but didn't kill the Skeksis, but then scared them off to stay in the castle, but then also made them even more scared of the Gelfling, as if the Gelfling were to all survive, they would then heal the crystal. But healing the crystal creates the mystics and the Skeksis become one again as when they first came to the land, and they were one. This crystal got broken. They became two separate beings, the Skeksis and the mystics. So they've scared off the Skeksis from Stone in the Wood and have become all one clan, all supporting each other. Some of the Gelfling, about half of them, have gone to this with the Seafa and living on the seas now, and the other half have gone down to the swamps where the Drenching clans are, and then only 3 people stay in Stone in the Wood by the castle. So you have Kylan, because he would love to read all the different stories that are etched into the walls of Stone in the Wood about the history of the Gelfling. And then Tavra has helped to stay so that way she can help support him and help him to write down the histories so that way he can travel and share the histories once he's finished putting them down to paper. And then Naya's twin, he then also stays with his friend to help try to get the crystal healed with the shard. So they've also sort of stayed behind to help sort of guard and figure out a way to get the crystal healed. And that's where the story ends. So it was a bit of a bittersweet ending, I think. I wish there was more, and I wish it maybe ended a little bit closer to where the movie started itself, or there was maybe a short story or a 5th novel in the series to share what happened in between the ending of the series and the start of the movie, as by the time the start of the movie comes, there's only 2 Gelfling that we're aware of, unless they were both hidden and then the rest of the Gelfling kind of fled the continent. I wish there was more, and I recommend, if you absolutely adored the Dark Crystal movie, that you do read the series, though the ending may be a little bit disappointing, and that's okay, but I still find it enjoyable anyway, and I hope you enjoyed listening to my thoughts. Alright, thanks. See you next time in the next video.